Hey guys, what's going on? I'm Shorty SX and welcome to a very exciting video because today we're talking about Call of Duty Ghosts, or more like what I'm expecting in terms of quickscoping from Call of Duty Ghosts. Let's do a little side note to the footage. Don't you just wish free-for-all games always started like this? Like, I would love if all free-for-all games started like this. Sadly, of course, they don't, but Let's a little note about the footage. Today, I'm just showing you guys a bunch of streaks because, hey, you know what? I figured it would be lots of fun to watch, and it'll give you a much better impression of how I play, you know, when I wanted to say at my best, but considering I hadn't played CoD in 4 months and I only recently picked it up, I'm probably not at my best, but either way, this should be entertaining, and if nothing else, you guys get to see how, you know, I like to move around, run, and just get my kills. But moving on, so today we're talking about Ghosts and what to expect from Ghosts. Now, right off the bat, let me just say I haven't actually been, you know, one of the lucky ones to get invited to one of the reveals, and I haven't had a chance to play the game or anything like that. However, I have seen a ton of footage from people who did get a chance to play the game. I've done my research as usual, and I feel like I can give you guys some proper thoughts today on what we can all expect in terms of quickscoping. And that's what I'm going to start with, and in the later parts of the video I'll even talk about what my class setup is likely to be like in terms of what snipers we'll be getting, what I'll probably go with, and even my selection of perks. Because you guys know from my last video that, you know, we got quite a bit of a leak in terms of how many perks were actually shown to us with in-game footage. And there were some interesting things, like for example the fact that Marathon will now be unlimited sprint. But anyway, if you haven't checked that out, check out my video above, it'll explain everything. So, quickscoping. Now, the first question, of course, everyone has is quickscoping going to be possible? Is it going to be hard or easy? Blah, blah, blah. Well, look, the one thing is Infinity Ward has never really hated us because, well, to be honest, why should anyone really hate us? But the whole idea is that based off everything we've seen, I am pretty confident that quickscoping will be pretty, you know, effective and useful in Call of Duty Ghosts. Because consider a couple of things. First off, boom. Anyway, consider a few things. The first one is everyone who played the multiplayer version of the game, you know, the reveals and everything recently, they all played it on a very weird system. It wasn't even an Xbox One, it was more of a PC with controllers, and the game they were, like the version of the game they were playing was extremely early, it had no aim assist, things like that. So in that aspect, the fact that someone like Face Cross was able to get a quad feed is already telling us that, you know, that's pretty good in terms of sniping. Now, another thing is the fact that he wasn't using quick draw. In fact, no one had access to quick draw at those events, so quickscoping is going to be even faster than what you've seen in those matches. Of course, with game modes like Cranked and stuff, it'll probably be very, very fun. But anyway, moving on. Now, the next question everyone definitely has is, what about all the new changes? What about the dual render, and what about the movement, and all of that? So those are big changes that I'm going to talk about. Dual render. Now, dual render is great. I must say it looks awesome, like, you know, it's a very fancy feature in many ways and stuff like that. Couple of things about it though. The first thing is, yes, it grants you peripheral vision, and everyone's like, oh my god, yeah, that's so great. But here's the problem. Now, peripheral vision is absolutely great in real life. If you're playing QB, for example, and you're trying to survive and not get your head knocked off by a linebacker, peripheral vision, great. However, the thing with peripheral vision is, and you can do this right now as you're watching this video, stretch out your arms. If you're looking straight ahead of you, you can still sort of see your arms, even if you're waving them like a complete moron, which is what I'm doing, by the way, in case you're wondering. The point is, peripheral vision is useful because, yes, it's completely blurred and your eyes can't really focus on that side, but you still see a large part of what's going on around you. The problem with the peripheral vision we're getting in Ghosts is that it's only showing you a really small part of what's going on around you, as you guys can see right now. As in, that area it's showing you, it's so small that I don't really see it being very, very useful. Now, of course, to be honest, this is only fair, because if you have your eye down, you know, a sniper scope, you're really not that aware of what's going on around you, so even the peripheral vision we're getting there is already great. All I'm saying that, short of someone running at you, you know, in close range from right in front of you with a knife, you're not really going to see much else. The thing that is absolutely amazing about the dual render, though, is the fact that we finally get a minimap. And I'm not saying finally because, to be honest, I was never expecting this because, you know, it's just a nice little perk for us when we're sniping and when we're zoomed in. But now we finally have a minimap. And for all of you guys who have seen, you know, my complete how-to quickscope tutorial, you know that the whole idea I was getting at with awareness there is that every time you're zoomed in, you lose your awareness. And one of the big things was, you know, you don't see your minimap. Now you do see your minimap. You're going to see people pop up on radar and everything while you're zoomed in, so that's great in terms of sniping and, you know, improving your awareness. So I'm totally up for that change. Now the next big thing is definitely the whole momentum or conservation momentum idea they're trying to bring into Call of Duty Ghosts. The way it works, or the way everyone has explained it to work, and once again, remember, I haven't actually tried it, and this is really something that you have to feel, I think, in order to understand it properly, but the idea everyone has gotten at is that it's supposed to feel a little bit more like Mirror's Edge. If you've played Mirror's Edge, it's an awesome free-running game. Now, the idea with conservation momentum is that, for example, in real life, if you're running, as fast as you can down a hall, and you decide to stop, you have inertia. You're not going to instantly stop. There's momentum carrying, and there's physics at work, basically. Now, Call of Duty has not really been like that because it's always been based off the Quake engine, which for anyone who's played Quake, it's an awesome game. It's a very fast-paced game, you run around and it's an arcade shooter. You just fly around from jump points and shoot people with rocket launchers. It's great. And that's, to be honest, one thing I have always loved about CoD. So in that aspect, I hope it doesn't actually change too much. Now, the thing with conservation of momentum is it is awesome if you're running really quickly. So everyone's probably thinking, well, Shorty, that's great for you because you love running around, right? It is. The problem I'm kind of thinking about right now, though, is you guys know that when you're quickscoping, and you know this from my big quickscope tutorial, in order to be accurate, you need to actually stop moving before you fire, otherwise your bullet's just going to go all over the place. I'm not sure how that's going to be, how that's going to interact with the conservation momentum, because if you stop every time you fire a bullet, do you lose your momentum? If that's the case, then it could make snipers as a whole a very, a much slower class compared to everything else. You probably won't get a chance to, use that conservation momentum and the speed it gives you all that much. But again, we'll have to actually see what happens. And one of the good things, like for example, about Modern Warfare 3, one of the reasons I love this game is because it's very fast. Like, you're not really so much limited by the game, but you're limited by your own ability to actually use the game. So like here, I'm always trying to, jump out of bullets quicker or duck behind cover quicker and just, have quicker reactions in general. The problem with conservation momentum and all of that is that it could potentially make your character slower if they happen to design it that way. But anyway, I guess we'll have to play it to see. Now, one thing new in Ghosts that I don't see many downsides with is the new leaning feature. Now, I'm totally in favor of the leaning feature because, well, it doesn't seem to get you stuck on edges. It's very intuitive in the sense that if you ADS on an edge, you'll kind of just lean over it, or the game will realize you're close to an edge and lean up. So that's great. As in, it's not going to get, stuck to a wall where it's going to impair your movement or anything like that. But the good thing about it is you're probably going to get to see some cool stuff, like, like leaning quickscopes and things like that, which would be pretty cool, I must say. Like, you fire one shot, you fire another shot, then you lean over one corner and go, bam! That'll be sick. I'm totally in favor of that. The downside, of course, is that your enemies will probably also be leaning, so now you not only have to worry about submachine gunners running around and spraying you down before you even have a chance to fire a bullet, but they'll be leaning around corners and be a harder target to hit. But you know what? That's only fair. So I'm totally in favor of that change. Now, the next thing I quickly want to go over are basically the snipers that we're all expecting to see in Ghosts, because most of them have kind of been confirmed. Now, of course, the two bolt-action ones, the first one being the L115, very similar to the L11 from Modern Warfare 3, of course. However, the approach they seem to be taking is a lot more like Black Ops 2, where you had the DSR being, a powerful but slightly slower one-shot kill sniper rifle, and then you had the Ballista, which was a slightly quicker but wasting up one-shot kill sniper rifle. Well, that seems to be the case because the L115 has, maxed out damage if we look at the stats, and even in the description it says it's a one-shot kill from the upper leg up, so that's great. The USR, on the other hand, has faster handling, much like the Ballista, and slightly less damage, and for one-shot kills, you need to hit him in the waist up, which is fine, though. The thing, if you guys remember from Black Ops 2, I had no problem with the Ballista. I actually love the Ballista because, obviously, if you just aim above the waist, you always get a one-shot kill anyway. So I will probably end up using the USR if for no other reason, just because it looks better to me and because it has faster handling. So the last thing I wanted to kind of quickly mention is my selection of perks. Now, as you know, with the new perk system, or it's basically kind of like a combination of pick 10 plus Infinity Ward's own little thing, but basically now we get to spend 8 points on our perks, or up to 11 if you give up your secondary, tactical, and lethal grenades. Now, of course, I would be giving up all my lethals and tacticals and all of that because I don't want it, I don't need it. I'll be going sniper only, and in which case I'll be spending my 11 points into 2 for quick draw, obviously faster ADS, 2 in marathon, unlimited sprint now, 2 in agility, faster movement speed, 2 in dead silence, silent footsteps. I don't know how silent, but we'll see. 2 in on the go, which is a new perk allowing you to reload while sprinting, which will be awesome for me. And last point, this is only a guess because this is not a confirmed perk, but 1 in dexterity, because I'm guessing dexterity is the perk at the very top left and it only requires 1 point. But anyway, I hope this was useful for you guys. I hope you learned something, and I'm really looking forward to quickscoping Ghosts. Aside the little momentum thing I was telling you guys about and how that might actually slow me down as a sniper, I'm actually really excited about the game. I'm really looking forward to what we get, and I'm impatient, man. I want to play it. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you thought, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.